morning, everyone. My name is Clarissa, and I'd like to begin with a meme that I saw the other day. So it was a picture of Obama, and on it, it said, "I don't always spend $1 million, but when I do, I spend $1 trillion." So, it's funny, it's a joke, we all get it, and it's just basically putting mockery over the fact that he just spends a lot of money. So with that, I want to go straight into my proposition, and my proposition is that social media has harmed the ability to have effective political discussions. Meaning that going on social media, we only see little small amounts of information, we never actually get the full story, and that, we need to actually be having political discussions. My supporting claims are that social media hurts the way that, our generations are viewing politics, that social media makes it easier and quicker to disrespect our country, and that a lot of people are using social media, so opinions are constantly being exposed and we all see them. So my first claim is that our generation is, being hurt by social media. Yeah, today. So CNN released an article and it was titled "The Danger of Twitter, Facebook Politics." And the part that I want to read from it is, it says, "It's one thing to see a sausage get made, it's another thing entirely to watch the pig get slaughtered. In policy making, lots of ideas are thrown out in order to set good apart from the bad, in order to stake out a compromise. So with social media, everything is so available to us. Everything is in our face. We see the good, bad, and the ugly. We see it every step of the way. And, we're turning to our media for our opinion, and this necessarily isn't, the best way to approach politics. And, for example, if a person goes on Twitter and they see a tweet that says, "Ted Cruz sucks," and then 2 weeks later they have to go place their vote, and all they're thinking about is that one tweet that says, "Ted Cruz sucks," that's how they're going to go, that's the only knowledge that they have going into it. And they remember reading something like "Make America Great Again," then they're going to vote for Trump, without having the proper research and knowledge just because they went to social media. My other claim is that social media has made it easier to disrespect our country because it's quick and easy. Some memes going around right now is one that says, "Obama was 50 this year, he says he's 51. Obama said he was 50 this year, he says he's 50. One more time. Last year, Obama said he was 50. This year, he says he's 51. Which one is it, Obama?" So meaning that he can never do anything right, that, everybody's going to put out a meme that says, he's wrong about something, he's lying, it's just a constant in-your-face situation. And then another one is that it's Obama and he's saying, "Don't worry, America, I'll deal with ISIS at my next family reunion." This isn't a joke. We shouldn't be joking about things like that. It's tasteless, but people are still putting it out there for, the media to see. Washington Post put out, a tweet that Trump had said, and it says, "Jeb Bush has to like Mexican illegals because of his wife." These are just spurts of information. These aren't thought out. This isn't, anything that we should be, thinking that this is factual information. This is not politics to just spurt out random information and expect it to be, true. And then my last claim is that large amounts of people are using social media, so opinions are constantly being exposed. Pew Research Center is a center that dedicates their research to technology, the internet, and science, and they said that nearly 2/3 of Americans, so it's 65%, are using social networking sites. And in 2015, they found that from the ages of 18 to 29, it's 90% of the people who are on these sites, and 77% who are 30 to 49. So we can see that there are just a ton of people who are all scrolling through the same things, the same memes, and they actually aren't getting the proper information that they need. And the research center also has documented proof that social media affected many things, including politics, because it just has made it so easy to just put out whatever you think and just go from there. So my summary is that social media is harming the ability to have effective political discussions. It's hurting the way that our generations are thinking of politics. It's making it easy and quick to disrespect our country. And also that since so many people are using it, there's just so many opinions and you never actually get the right information. So, thank you.
Family reunion, Obama was not sound pretty well. All right, Clarissa, some of the things that you did that were very nice. I like the meme as an attention device at the beginning. I thought that was fine. You introduced the proposition very clearly. It's well laid out. You've got a very solid preview of what the supporting structure is going to be, so it should be easy for us to follow. I also thought that you did a good job signposting those points in the body of the speech, so nobody's going to get lost as we're developing those points. I do sometimes think that you need to offer a little bit more argument on a couple of those points. For instance, there's no doubt that the memes get used, and you mentioned them on that second point, but the notion that they are important is really dependent on a couple of things. On that first point, for instance, you've got the hypothetical about somebody saw a tweet that says Ted Cruz sucks, and that's the only thing that they have going into their heads in the voting booth. And I'm wondering, well, if they're going into the voting booth, why don't they have something in their head before they went into the voting booth? At least they've seen something. What else should they have seen before they? The idea that it might stick, for instance, that it would be one of those things that's kind of a sticky idea that people hold on to. They might have read a lot of other information. Maybe they have talked about these things, but this idea sticks because it's in the social media. I think that might be the argument that you want to make there. Because the alternative is, if you say, well, the only thing they know about Ted Cruz when they go into the voting booth is that meme that they saw, well, they shouldn't be in the voting booth anyway if they don't know anything about. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. I guess the world, people who know nothing about anything have a right to vote. I just don't think they should. But that's my opinion, personal opinion. It seems to me like they should have some knowledge in that situation. But I think what you're arguing is that these kinds of things filter the sort of stuff that we see. They make us remember key ideas that are maybe less important than other things that we might have discovered, but when we are actually having to make the decision, that's the kind of negative thing that's going to linger. And there's probably good information that talks about how negative information is stickier when it comes to our memory and our recall than other kinds of information, and that would be something that would help on that point. So I like the idea of the point. I just don't think that you did anything more than have that weird hypothetical, which seems like it would be really strange. The second point, you had a lot of examples of those memes, that sort of thing, and I thought the best information that you had there was the Trump example about his tweet, and the question then becomes, well, why was this a bad thing? What was problematic about it? How did it polarize the discussion? How did it change the focus? How did it negatively influence the way people talk about politics? I think that you needed some additional information on that. Otherwise, we're just back to, it's like reading mean tweets. Who does that? Jimmy Fallon? Mm-hmm. Reading, where they have the people who read the mean tweets about themselves, that kind of thing. And it might be memorable, it might be interesting, but why is it important? How does it affect anybody? The third point, I thought that you did a good job showing how important social media is, how widely it's used. There's good statistical information on that. You do say at one point in that section that there's documented proof that it has an effect on a variety of things. I'm going, okay, so why am I not hearing the documented proof on those sorts of things? Here's a case where Trump tweeted something out, and 2 days later the election turned on this, and when people were interviewed afterwards, they said, well, it's because I saw this tweet from Donald Trump or something like that. That would be an example of something that was documented, that was proven, it had an impact there. Your reference here is a little vague. It's a little uncertain. I think you do an excellent job speaking to the audience. You're very direct. You're very smooth while you're talking to us. You're looking at us the whole time. So you have very good ethos and credibility when you're speaking. Thank you.